And we discussed, of course, how to bring an end to the Hamas rule in Gaza, because that's an essential part of ensuring a different future for Gaza and a different future for us facing Gaza. We finished the first part, as you know, phase 1. We're almost there. We have one more hostage deceased, Rani Gvili, a hero of Israel, to return here. And then we, very shortly, expect to move into the second phase, which is more difficult, or equally difficult. I would say more difficult because nobody believed that with our combined action, Israel's military action in Gaza City and President Trump's effective diplomatic action in bringing the Arab and Muslim world to press Hamas to give up the hostages, nobody believed that we would achieve it, but we did. And now we have a second phase, no less daunting, and that is to achieve the disarmament of Hamas and the demilitarization of Gaza. And as I mentioned to the Chancellor, there's a third phase, and that is to de-radicalize Gaza, something that also people believed was impossible. But it was done in Germany. It was done in Japan. It's done in the Gulf states. It can be done in Gaza too. But of course, Hamas has to be dismantled. These are challenges in front of us, but we do not shirk from them. We think we have great opportunities. We believe there's a path to advance a broader peace with the Arab states and a path also to establish a workable peace with our Palestinian neighbors. But we're not going to create a state that will be committed to our destruction at our doorstep. And as you know, Israel is gigantic. It's 50 kilometers wide, 70 kilometers wide at its widest point. And we are obviously going to take care of our security. The one thing that we will always insist upon is that the sovereign power of security from the Jordan River, which is right here, to the Mediterranean Sea, which is right there, that will always remain in Israel's hands. And that means that Israel will control its destiny and continue to protect its security for our sake and for others as well.
The framework to end the war in Gaza allowed Hamas 72 hours to release all the hostages, alive and dead. We are now almost 72 days past this deadline. How much longer are you going to allow Hamas? Is there a deadline to move forward to the second phase that includes disarming Hamas? And perhaps more importantly, how are you going to settle the differences with the Trump administration regarding the timeline of disarming Hamas? Because we know that Israeli officials have been talking about no more than a few months, while Americans have been talking about a much more flexible timeline that can stretch up to a year.
We're close to the second phase. And I think that you asked pertinent questions about what will be the timeline, what are the forces that are coming in, will we have the international forces? If not, what are the alternatives? These are all topics that are being discussed, but I haven't seen yet a clear delineation of what you say is the American position, which is contrary to our position. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to talk to President Trump about. In the meantime, as I said, while humanitarian aid is there, it's flowing, it's not a problem, there is a problem that is there, and that is Hamas violations, including yesterday. They try to cross into our lines. They try to attack our soldiers. Obviously, we respond, and respond forcefully. So I think simultaneous with the advance to the second stage, I think it's important to make sure that Hamas complies, not only with the ceasefire, but also with their commitment, which they undertook, to disarm and have Gaza demilitarized. That's not something that is not part of something that they committed to. They committed to it. And so I think we'll be having very important conversations at the end of the month on how to ensure that this second stage is achieved. We're about to finish the first stage. We're there, almost. But we have to make sure that we achieve the same results in the second stage, and that's something I look forward to discussing with President Trump. No. And the last thing that I would say, they're very eager. They're very concerned with my future. They want to make sure that how shall I say this? they're concerned with my future. Well, so are the voters, and they'll decide, obviously, but we have big tasks to do.